right, demands from the members of the county assembly to the point that they did not want to listen to the principal secretary. They're actually demanding that they be addressed by President William Ruto or the deputy. Away from that, the government has today announced a new funding formula for the universities and the TVETs. Under the new formula announced by the president today, university students will be placed in 3 categories comprising of vulnerable, the less vulnerable, and of course the able students, with the vulnerable ones getting full scholarships of their university education. And as Shadrach Committee now reports, universities will no longer charge any extra levies unless through express authority from the university's funds board.
With public universities choking under a heavy debt of 60.2 billion shillings, it was imperative that the government found a way to save them from going under. And on Wednesday, a meeting convened at State House, Nairobi, comprising of vice-chancellors from public universities, announced an increase in budgetary allocation for public universities in the next financial year by over 30 billion shillings.
In the financial year 2022-2023, Kenya shillings 54 billion was allocated to university education, both as grant and as loans. In the next financial year, under the new model, we are increasing the budgetary allocation from 54 billion to 84.6 billion, an extra 30.6 billion. This is an increase of 56% and translates to an increase of funding per student from 152,000 to Kenya shillings 208,000, an increase of 37%.
The meeting further agreed on a new funding formula which will see the government finance university education according to the level of need by every student. Consequently, the government will place university students in 3 categories comprising of the vulnerable, the less vulnerable, and the able. 45,000 students will be placed under the vulnerable group and will receive full government scholarship for university education, while the able will fund their university education in full or get loans from the Higher Education Loans Board.
Universities and TVETs will no longer receive, under the new funding model, block funding in form of grants based on differentiated unit costs. The government has resolved that university funding will henceforth be student-centered and be apportioned to individual students according to their level of need.
The new funding formula will apply to the new cohort of students joining university, while continuing students will continue under the current funding formula.
For the first time, students whose households are at the bottom of the pyramid shall enjoy equal opportunity in accessing university and TVET education. Their households shall not make any contributions towards the education of their children because of their financial status. Students from less needy households joining university will receive government scholarship of up to 53% and loans from the government of up to 40%, a total of 93%.
Meanwhile, the government has clarified that placement of students in private universities will continue, but unlike their counterparts in public universities who will receive government scholarships, those in private universities will only get loans from the Higher Education Loans Board, HELB. Shadrach Miti, KTN News.
All right.